Hey guys, welcome to this episode of Art of War Plus One. Today I am playing Dorinthea against Calum's mid-range Katsu. So,
This is not the mid-range one.
it's not the mid-range one?
No,
This is
it's
the
not.
aggro one.
This is the aggro one.
Alright, cool.
Yeah. The other list that I've got has a mid-range sideboard plan into Dorinthea.
So this one is the aggro one. Cool,
Yeah.
cool. So I'll just explain my deck a little bit because it's a bit different. So this is a older style of deck of Dorinthea, which uses attack action cards to kind of keep your opponent guessing.
Yep.
So this deck list, or the deck list that is mostly intact for this deck, was pioneered by John Jureg at Nationals in New Zealand last year. So this borrows heavily from that, and you'll see that it's a bit different from some modern Dorinthea lists.
Yeah.
Mainly went back to this list to see if, just to try it against Chain, see if more attack actions would help in that matchup. But I haven't actually got to play that matchup yet.
Yeah.
So today we're just going to play against aggro Katsu. So the sideboard plan is I want to play a bit more focused on my weapon.
Yeah.
Because Katsu struggles with blocking the weapon out. So we're taking out the Flock of the Featherwalkers and Snatch. These cards kind of go hand in hand, and they're used to really punish slow decks like Bravo and Dash.
Exactly, yeah.
Dash was very prevalent when this deck was kind of designed, so there are a few nods to Dash control.
Yeah.
We're taking out 3 Snags, there for Chain. I'm not sure if Snag is the most viable anti-chain card in this list, but it's worth it to try out.
Yeah.
And we're taking out Red Shunts because it's going to overblock a lot of the time. We've got 2 Yellow Shunts left in the list, and we'll see how those go.
Exactly. Yeah. And then my sideboard, taking out the belittles and minimalisms, they're against slow decks. Dorinthea is not a slow deck. These don't really do much for me. Life for Life's come out. I'm thinking of cutting this card completely from the list soon. There's not many matchups that I bring it in, and it
Just the meta's changed a bit.
Meta's changed, and it just doesn't do enough for what I want it to do. And then I've taken out 1 Open the Center, 1 Snatch, 1 Art of War to put in 3 Torrent of Tempos. That's because Dorinthea, although she has armor, getting a card out of hand in armor is actually quite efficient for me, especially for Torrent, only costing 1.
Yeah, and the more armor pieces you can force, the more deadly your Plunder Unturn's going to be, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Cool. So for the armor, this deck doesn't have much armor. I'm running Spring Tunic, Arcanite Skullcap, Braveforge Braces, and Refraction Bolters as my equipment for this game, and I have a Null Rune Hood in the sideboard.
Now, is this Tunic for everything in this list and just more attack actions focused, or is this for the pairing with the Shunts?
Sorry, come again?
The Tunics usually is paired with Shunts in the modern Dorinthea lists, and they run
so
Courage, or is this because of the attack actions
There is
as
no
well?
Courage in this list.
Yeah.
Just because there is usually some amount of attack actions that we're playing, and we're usually going to be playing Shunts.
Yeah.
But some of the more modern lists, so in the more modern Dorinthea lists that are all about the weapon, they don't really play attack actions, then the idea is with Courage, I'll just say this, if you're playing Shunts in your deck in a matchup, then you're playing Tunic.
Yeah, exactly.
100% of the time.
Yeah.
Pitching for Shunt is not efficient at all. And it often forces you into playing your hand poorly. So if you're playing Shunts, you're playing Tunic. Okay? So there are going to be some matchups where you don't want to play Shunts, right?
Yeah.
And that's when you play the Courage of Blade Hold. So
Yeah.
just get that off my
Yeah.
chest. Because I think it's a super important
Sure.
part of Warrior to get right, is knowing when to use each equipment.
And even think about cards like Blue Shunts, which are in as a resource card for every list, that card becomes super inefficient.
Yeah,
Without
so
Tunic, right? You're blocking...
Blue Shunt usually is not played in those lists.
Yeah, exactly.
So this deck has a lot less blues and so on.
Yeah. Just try and threaten more damage and more like a mix of damage and non-hits. Kind of similar to what some of the aggro Katsu lists are doing into Chain.
I will bring a more kind of go tall modern list of Dorinthea sometime.
Yeah.
And we'll play that. But it would be interesting to take a walk down memory lane and see what the past was like.
Exactly.
Or I guess PTSD for some.
Yeah.
If you had trouble against these kind of decks, but
Back in the
I think they're quite an interesting dynamic between attack
so.
actions and weapon swings.
For sure.
That not a lot of decks actually attempt to do, so... And your balls to the wall aggro.
Pretty
Are
much.
you?
This list, this one that I'm trying out, has only red flick flacks in it. Whereas the other list that I've been doing has more of a mid-range plan where it has 2 unmovables and 6 flick flacks.
Okay, cool.
Reds, yellows, and it sideboards into
So the unmovables are for Bravo and
Dorinthea.
Dorinthea. Cool. Alright. I win the dice roll again, so you can start this time.
Yep.
I would like to go second to get the tempo advantage.
Exactly. Both of these heroes care quite a lot about cards in hand, so having the ability to start stripping from Katsu,
Yeah,
turn 2, and I don't get to draw back up is
quite powerful.
very, very
right?
powerful. This is not the most ideal start, but that's okay. Darchi for 1,
Take one,
Darchi for 1,
take one.
and then we'll just attack for 1 with Crane Dance. So, no real
Oh,
threatening
just
cards
block
here,
this.
so I'm just trying to filter my hand,
Yep.
and I'll arsenal this and pass.
Cool. Let's see what my hand does. Okay. So we're just going to try and get cards from hand and be aggressive back. So we're going to start with Hit and Run, Steelblade Supremacy, Swing for 5 with Go again, with 1 card in hand. So we're threatening up to 8 damage here, or 9 with the Swing and Steelblade. So we're looking to get cards from hand and basically threaten a big turn.
Yeah. So I will just be blocking 6 here.
Cool. I will apply the stroke.
Yep.
So I'll resolve
Reprise.
its reprise effect. And we'll keep this card on the top of my
And
deck.
I'll defense react, and I will flick flack.
Cool. That's fine. To get those cards out early.
So I don't really have the breathing room early to really be threatening a lot of damage back. So I only want to be taking the Dawnblade attacks when I have this massive turn.
Yeah.
That I can fire back with. So I will just be doing some value. I'll just Kodachi for 1,
I'll take 1.
and Kodachi for 1.
Take 1.
Just get some chip damage in.
Cool. Yeah. Just get that life total going.
Yep.
I'll go up to 2 on Tunic. And here we're just going to go push some damage. Just going to come in for 3.
So I'm going to declare no blocks here.
Cool.
To keep my hand here, and there's
You're a
no
little bit punished. I play a Razor
Yep.
Reflex. Any defense reacts?
defense reacts.
We'll play another one. So we're just pushing through a lot of
Yeah,
damage
a
here.
lot of damage here.
But
Yes.
Calum gets to keep his turn,
Yep.
and which is hopefully can beat with 9 damage to the face.
Exactly.
I get my Arsenal card. So this next turn is quite important for both decks because we both hit our first free resource off Tunic. So this is quite a pivoting point in the game. So we've both set up a card in Arsenal and Tunic resource. So this is where the game is going to tip.
So I'm going to catch 1, play Surging Strike, and pay with the Tunic here.
Okay, cool.
So this has got 5 and go again, threatening my Katsu trigger on hit.
Alright. I am going to block. You're just going to block for 6 on this card.
Alright. We will Whirling Gustwave for 4. So I arsenal that first turn, and these are the sort of turns that I'm looking to take damage on to swing black.
Yeah,
Where I can push and threaten a lot of damage and on hit effects.
that's fair enough. Yeah. So here we are just... This is quite tricky.
Yeah.
Because we're going to have to use equipment here to stop this because of breaking scales. And basically just hope we don't get Brazered or Ancestraled. Hope we get super punished if that happens.
Yeah.
But here I'm just going to block with Brave Forge Bases and Light Strike.
So I will attack reaction. We
We get got.
do have the breakpoint there and a breaking scales.
Yep. So I got no defense reaction.
Yep.
So you just get to go over.
So taking 1.
Yep.
Draw a card off Whirling Gustwave.
Mm-hmm.
Now I do have Katsu trigger now on the
Yep.
stack since the first one didn't hit. And I think I might trigger that actually, just to push some damage. So there's not actually, there's only one target for Lord of Wind if it does get through, but I want to push down out as much damage as possible. So we'll discard a Scar for a Scar.
Yep.
And we will search up the Magenchi release.
Okay. So looking at taking about, 7 or 8 damage off this Magenchi, if it hits.
Yep.
So, somewhat important to block, but it's also like acceptable not to block it here, because the life totals are still high, and we do want to get something back off this. So,
Unfortunately, I have no resource floating, so I will have to pitch a card for this, which is
use
not
the razor
ideal.
too. Okay.
But I am having to pitch the razor there, and this is coming in for 5.
Yeah. So here I think I'm just taking it.
Yep.
And you get to search
I
for
get
your...
the trigger.
Yeah.
Get my Lord of Winds. So it's important to note that I actually only have
one target.
one target here. So I will be searching up only 2 Lord of Winds. This way I get 1 target back, because I had to pay extra X resource, and I have no floating. So there's no point me getting
3 Lord of Winds.
3 Lord of Winds. Actually, there might be a point. I just have a resource card in hand. It does give away a card in hand, but I think...
I mean, sometimes you can get punished by that, but I think with the number of blues, I think it's fairly safe.
Yeah. And I do have a card, and the last card in hand that I do want to get into Arsenal.
Mm-hmm.
So here we go.
Yep.
So these do go into hand instead of Banish Zone, unlike Katsu.
Cool.
It'll be
And
one more shuffle
coming
after
in
this.
for
This
3.
will be for 3, paying 1 extra resource.
And shuffling Magenchi in.
Yep.
Cool. I will take 3 here.
So there's also a mask trigger, so I'll be drawing off mask here.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just chuck that in the middle and then shuffle up.
Yeah. So the idea I'm keeping this last card is because it doesn't defeat any breakpoints, and it means I get to keep my counter on Tunic and still swing.
Yeah,
Which is quite useful for me. So
it's better than still getting the on hits and just losing all semblance of momentum.
Yeah, exactly. So I got to try and get something back.
Yep.
No matter how small it may be.
And I will just be arsenaling this card and passing back to you.
Yeah. Cool. On my turn, we're just going to pitch a blue overpower. Sorry, took my Tunic up and come in for 3.
We'll just be blocking 3 here.
Okay. I'm sorry, but you're super punished.
Yep. Sing.
Yeah. So I saw this off the top of my
So yeah, my hand didn't do
my,
much there, so I was just looking to mitigate
Stroke
some
of
damage.
Foresight.
Yeah.
And put it in my arsenal the
It's-
next turn.
It's very nice off the stroke.
And yeah, this is one of the reasons why I kept a card, because if he misplays, like, especially keeping the 3rd Lord of Wind, you draw the 2nd blue, it heavily incentivizes you to block a card.
Yeah, which
and
is what
means
happened.
I can punish you by getting a glint.
Yeah.
And getting, like, basically insane value from a 2-card turn.
And then you get your prize trigger off the glint.
Yeah, so I'll draw.
No defense reaction, so we'll be taking 1 from the singing.
Cool. And we want to keep our card, so we're just going to come back in for 3. Try and eke another card out. Yeah, it's not always worth it to use the braces. Sometimes just having a card to put in arsenal is quite powerful.
So you have 1 resource floating, correct?
Yep.
So we are heavily incentivized here to block in case. I don't really want him getting a counter, especially on this turn, and I'm not really doing much back. So we will just be blocking 6 here.
Cool. Yeah.
So yeah, it was
Yeah.
definitely punished on the first attack.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, and as
Right.
always, by not bracing, you can with tunic you
Yeah.
can actually threaten the +3,
exactly, which is what we're
which
concerned
is
about.
quite sneaky sometimes.
Yeah, so mine is just a Darchi for 1.
I will just take 1 here.
Back to you.
So you can see we've the gamble has paid off, and I'm quite in control of the game
Yeah.
at this moment. So I'm gonna pitch 3, play Spores of War, and come in for 5 with Go Again. So one of the reasons there are attack actions in the deck, like Easter and Command and Conquer, is they synergize super well off this card.
Yeah, exactly.
Spurs of War threatens 2 block on Dawnblade, and then you can come in with an unblock, basically unblockable Command and Conquer.
Yeah. So I actually have quite a strong turn coming up here, so I'm going to declare no blocks.
Yep, that is fine.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Cool. I'm sorry. Hit
Okay,
and run. To give it +3. Then I'm just going to come in for 6. With no resource floating.
Alrighty.
So earlier this was the card that I drew
Yeah.
off my glint. So you can argue that I should have played it last turn and come in for 6, but with the tunic counter and the Dawnblade coming in for 3 threatening a counter, I'm threatening a +3 attack anyway, so it is basically as good as being played,
Yeah.
and I get to ask for later. So that was the decision process there.
So I do have a way of wrestling back, so I actually will be taking here the damage
Just
here as
taking
well.
6.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, no attack reactions. Get my counter.
Yeah.
And I'm going to look to apply pressure with that later.
Yeah.
I'll Arsenal and pass.
There was no realistic way of me like completely blocking that out and stopping you from getting the counter, and I want to keep these cards in hand to put some pressure back onto you. So I now have to think a bit about how I want to do this. Whether I am filtering or not. We're playing Plunder on from Arsenal.
Yep.
And I think I'm to be playing Leg Tap for 7 with Go Again here.
Okay, cool.
So I'm threatening a draw here off the Plunder on it and a substantial amount of damage.
I'm going to block 2. Any attack reactions?
No attack reactions.
I'll use my tunic resource to play Yellow Shunt from Arsenal,
Yep.
blocking 7.
So
So I'll match you.
I've got 1 floating. I'm now going to play a Torrent of Tempo for 5.
Okay,
The hits against Go Again.
that's fair enough.
There's an argument to be made here, I think, to pitch the other card that I have in hand to play the Art of War and try and filter, but
Yeah.
I'm getting just as much value
Yeah.
out of this, and I'm quite happy with
Yeah.
this card in Arsenal.
Yeah, so Torrent isn't a combo starter, so it's not so scary him getting the tutor off it. And I have some quite good cards in my hand, so, and I do want to save some of my armor for later, especially like Tunic and Skullcap.
Yeah.
So, this is deja vu. I'll take 5.
Yep. I'll draw off my Plunder on, and the Torrent gets Go Again. So I do have a Katsu trigger available to me.
This is a bit spooky if he did draw combo starter, but
I have no resource.
These are the risks you take against aggro ninja.
Exactly. So Daniel's really wanting to keep his hand here. Which is a bit, so I gotta think quite a bit about this. It's definitely, yeah. I think I do really want this. And Arsenal. I think I definitely that turn should have Art of Ward instead to get rid of my torrent and try and filter for a slightly better hand.
Yeah, I'll try and push this over.
Yeah,
I think that's pretty fair.
but I think I'm just gonna head to Dachi
I'll take one. So there's no Katsu
twice.
trigger.
Yeah, no Katsu trigger now, because I think I do want that card
Cool.
there.
Yep, and I'm luckily not punished for my greed.
Yeah, I think a bit of a misplay on my part. I think the Art of War was definitely the right call there, but
Cool. I'll take my tunic counter
Yeah.
up.
that's okay.
So I'm just going to pitch 3 and come in for 4.
I'm going to block 6 here.
Cool. I'm going to pump it to 7 and trigger my reprise.
Yeah. And then we will flick like that.
Alright, just, yeah. You should wait until I finish this, to be honest. Because it can be relevant. We're not hugely here. I think we just put this on the bottom. Maybe just leave that on the top. Yeah, I think we put that on the bottom. And that is fine. You get to 3 card block me.
Yeah.
And I'll Arsenal pass. I lose my counter.
And it's not doing much. Kodachi for 1.
I'll take 1.
Kodachi for 1.
Take 1.
And I'll just Arsenal and pass back to you.
Yep. I'll just take tunic up. My hand's a bit resource starved. Got 4 reds. Makes things a little bit tricky. So I think we just try and be a pain in the ass. And we'll just pitch 2 cards and play Command and Conquer for 6.
Being a pain in the ass indeed.
Got him. That's the thing about Command and Conquer is sometimes you just get people.
Yeah.
Just Command and Conquer for 6 is enough to be a pain. You know, as far as off turns go, Command and Conquer isn't a bad one.
Exactly. I really like this card in my arsenal.
that's the exact feeling I want to create.
Yeah. This is actually quite awkward for me because you're on slightly lower life, which means your skull cap is on.
Yep. Yeah, so if I get a 2 card block from you, that's pretty nice. I get to keep my skull cap active.
I might go over this with you after this turn to see if you think it's correct. I think I will actually just let this hit.
Okay.
Although I do lose an ancestral.
Okay.
You're already lower, and I'm not actually able to threaten a breakpoint
So yeah.
with the ancestral with the card that I have in hand, because skull cap is turned on. A single card block and skull cap would still be for 5.
Yeah.
Which is what I was.
Yeah, I'm not sure Ancestral is worth blocking 2 cards from hand.
Yeah.
Because you kind of need cards to go over with it, right?
Exactly.
1. I'll take another 1.
And I'll Surging Strike for 4. So unfortunately it was a yellow Surging Strike instead of a red one.
Yeah.
If it is a red one, I think I am definitely keeping.
So here I'm going
Ancestral.
to sink below. I'm going to chuck this card on the bottom of my deck.
And then I will E-strike you for 7.
Okay, that's a big swing. There's a few things I could do about it, but it's super good.
E-strike, draw a card, but I don't know the card on top of my deck, and the 2 damage is guaranteed here. So there's a chance that I have a miss for the Arsenal card, and I think it's just a little too greedy.
Yeah, I'm kind of just not drawing my resource. A bit of a pain. There's a downside of some of these decks. Maybe we do that. Do we take 7? Probably not. It's probably the safest 4 damage I'm going to take in a wee while. I'm just going to block 3 and take 4.
Yeah. And I will pass back to you.
Cool. Turn is not incredible. I'm just going to Enlighten Strike you for 7.
Alrighty.
Putting a card on the bottom.
You'll block. Just block 2 here.
Yep.
And take 5.
Oh, Arsenal and pass. Alright.
Argument that maybe taking the 2 extra damage is better for having that in Arsenal, but it gets me a little too close. Puts me down to 6, which is just a Dawnblade and a pump, which I'm not super comfortable with. And my turn back is just fine.
Take 1. I think I am actually going to block you for 1 here.
Alrighty.
Just to try and turn off this mask.
And I will scarf 4 here. Let's go again.
I will take 4.
And then I will attack, react, and razor.
Alright. 1, 2, 3. So I'm quite low.
Got to push quite a bit of damage there. Would have liked it if you hadn't turned off the mask there, if you played it a little more greedy, but...
Yeah, so the reason, so there's a bit of confusion about like kind of when you should block the secret card sheet. It's when you want to preserve your hand desperately.
Exactly.
And you don't want to get blown out by breakpoint, right?
Yeah.
So like,
think
if I don't block
really
the Kadachi here,
over,
and I block 4 here with 1 card from hand and my Skullcap specifically to deny the mask trigger, and then he raises me, then he gets the mask trigger anyway.
Yeah.
And my usage of my armor and the card from hand was pointless.
Yeah.
So specifically you block the second Kadachi when you want to preserve all 4 cards and deny mask trigger. And you can't do it if your opponent still has a million cards in hand.
Yeah.
Because then they'll just go 1, 2, 3 anyway.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So here I'm just going to play... So this is my turn that I'm hoping will win me the game.
Yeah.
So I'm going to play red Steelblade Supremacy and come in for 5.
Daniel's threatening a massive turn here. And he's on 3, so I'm thinking about blocking with mask here, because realistically I'm not getting the trigger off for the rest of the game.
Block you to not die
That's
anyway,
right. If he takes 2 Darchies and I'm threatening mask trigger, if he takes a 3rd attack, he's dead. So the mask is no longer in effect. Ideally, I would want to keep 2 cards, but that might not be the case here. So Daniel has 1 resource, 2 resource floating, including Tunic, and 3 cards in hand.
Yeah.
If he hits this, he gets a card draw here.
So yeah, last turn I had a bit of an issue. So
Yeah.
I took the extra damage on E-Strike to preserve my Steelblade Supremacy for this turn, so that I could set up a kill turn, right?
A kill turn, yeah, exactly, trying to get over. So I'm definitely blocking with these cards. I want to keep that card if I can.
Yeah.
I want to keep my blue for that resource so I can get 2 Darchi swings in.
Yeah.
It'd be ideal to keep that, but I don't think that's happening.
Yeah. It'd be a bit problematic if you had a Flick Flag here.
It would be. Luckily for you, I do not have Flick Flag right here.
Alright.
So I think
blocking 8. So he gets around 1+3.
Yeah, I think I'm... So I'm definitely blocking with these two. I've just got to think about my other ones.
Oh, yeah.
So I've got, unfortunately, another 2 block in hand. So this is not 2, actually, that's relevant.
Mm-hmm.
I've got to think about whether I'm blocking with the rest of my equipment to try and hold on to this.
Yep.
And that gets rid of another +3. It still leaves you resource to swing, but I'm not too sure. That can kill. See, the straw hit triggers.
Very scary, right?
Yeah, and you still got bolters up, right? So
I mean, this has go universe,
yeah,
right?
it does.
It's gonna go. Those bolters are popped.
I think mask is definitely going here. So this brings me up to 7. I think I am wanting to block the 8 here.
All right. So the reason for the 8 block is to get around 1+3.
Yeah. Been trying to get
Unfortunately
multiple.
for you, I have 2.
2 are +3s. Yep,
And they're the most scary +3.
they are indeed.
So I'm 3 over you right now.
Yeah. So I have no defense reactions, so I will
Yep.
be taking 3 here.
Oh,
Fortunately, I had
trigger my bolters.
another
and
block 2 in hand.
Draw. So next Stormblade is
This is very scary.
already
Braces. So the next
coming
Stormblade
in
is coming in for...
7 as it is, but I want to
Okay.
maximize damage here because I'm a bit greedy.
Yeah.
And I'm also still in
I think
the
that's-
life.
That's
so
definitely the right call, right? Because this kind of telegraphs that I have multiple block 2s in my hand. Otherwise, I'm throwing another card down.
So I actually get to play Scarf for Scar with Go again, for 6, which is
Oh,
a bit
there's 2,
disgusting,
yeah. This is
right?
actually, I remember this happened to me at with one of the Blitz skirmishes when I was playing against a warrior. I got outfit on the Dawnblade and then got CNC'd for 7. I'm like, wait a minute, this is an Ira. Put
Yeah.
that away.
Alpha Blood is a pretty gross card. Yeah, and Scarf Scar is a very powerful card here too.
So
It's almost a free Easter egg. It's pretty close.
and you can attack again with the Stormblade after this, can't you?
Yes,
Which I think I might just be dead here. I'm not gonna lie.
that is the plan.
It doesn't really block, so my net block is the same. So I'm taking
4.
2,
Yeah.
3, 4 down
And
to
then
1.
I pitch braces and come in for 6.
Yep. Which is me dead.
And get you. Yep.
Well played, man. That was a
Yeah, that was a close
sick
game.
cool turn.
But yeah, geez, what a draw getting those two together.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
yeah, I needed something after those. So I drew
Like
2 quad red
2
hands
reds,
the last 2 turns. So I needed a big turn to make it back. So, when you're warrior against ninja, play to your Steelblade Supremacies.
Yeah.
They're one of the most powerful cards in the matchup because they actually let you compete with Katsu on damage.
Yeah.
And
Whereas
also-
you don't in any other space of the game apart from
Yeah.
counters, which are like a turn snowball based thing.
Yeah, I think that was also a good showcase of how to block the Kadachi correctly
Yeah.
on the second thing because it was actually crucial for me
Yeah.
winning that game. Like, because if you if I
raise
don't
it
block that,
and I get my razor and master draw.
yeah, and I have 1 less card to attack you with, or you draw a 0, if you draw a red Fluster Fist or something
Yeah.
off the top, then that game can very easily swing
Or
away from me.
any 0 cost was the top, and I get to tutor up my red Fluster Fist.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
So it's important to think about those draws and know kind of where you are in the game. Make sure if you're playing Dorinthea that you're working towards killing your opponent. You're not just playing your hands
Yeah.
as they come. You want to set up a turn where you can definitely go over the top and kill your opponent, and on that turn you can accept damage or trade as much
Exactly.
as you need to fulfill the conditions, right, to kill your opponent.
Yeah, and that's actually the same with Katsu. So the way that you should be trying to reliably kill Dorinthea
Yeah.
is these massive turns you go over the top. Surely, like if you get lucky with your break points and you get to the end point and you get the Dachi
Yep.
Dachi for attack and you strip hands.
Yep.
They'll
Yeah.
like fatigue out eventually, but that
Yeah.
isn't what you should be
If,
playing towards.
If you have a turn where you can guarantee that you can kill someone. Like, I was 99% sure that you were dead there.
Yeah.
Like, only red flick flag saves you. And
Yeah.
one left in
Yeah,
your
one
entire
left in
deck.
deck. Yeah.
So I was like 99% sure you were dead. So you just accept all the damage coming through that you can. Use your armor efficiently
Yeah.
to put the odds in your favor. And it's the same the other way around, right? If you're on 10 life and I'm on 3 and I've got 3 cards in hand and I can only threaten like, say,
It's
maybe
like
6 of that
six
damage
damage
through your armor,
Yeah.
then you just take it all and then you guarantee your win
Yeah,
condition,
exactly.
right? So
And I think that turn is definitely crucial of showing when you should be aiming to use your own armor on a second
Yeah.
Darchi. It is a thing that you get told like, oh, to turn off mask you block the second Darchi is the most reliable way, but most of the time that isn't
the
the
best,
best, most
because
efficient
you're
way to use armor.
You're wasting block or you're using armor when you should be holding onto it, right?
Exactly, and that's so much value for the ninja player to get a piece of armor or a card out of
Second
hand
Kodachi,
for
and then
one
you can just
resource.
like do something like play a potion or look for
Yeah.
some other avenue of value. You can even just
Yeah.
arsenal your last card, you know?
Or you still get to play. Say you have another card in hand and the threat. You still get to play the threat. You're still threatening that breakpoint like a leg tape. You're still threatening the search for Rising Knee
Yeah.
or Flusterfist there.
Yeah. It's important to think of your armor, you know, not as just like little health packs lying around for you to heal yourself with. They're actually tickets for you to pivot the game.
Yeah.
So you want to use these on turns so that you can change the flow of the game and, like, you know, get the advantage. And that every time you're giving them away or being forced to give them away is like a major punishment. It hurts your ability to win the game later on. So they're, you know, super important that you're getting value out of your armor. And that's what these aggro matchups are all about, is who uses the armor better most of the time will win.
Who's efficiently blocking and who's correctly identified that big pivot turn where they can take some damage.
Exactly, right? And luck comes into it a bit too. I think probably there's actually a lot to talk about in this game.
Yeah.
I think the main mistake that you made was blocking for
that.
3
Yeah.
on that naked Dawnblade.
For sure.
That was the easiest 3 damage of the game for you to take. I think you just say, oh, I've got an extra card in my hand to
An extra
Katsu
blue
with.
card. That doesn't. exactly. That should have been the thing to identify.
Because in this aggro matchup, you know, that one turn just
For sure.
swings it so hard. But, you know, it was the perfect card for me to have at that time.
Yeah.
So it can.
But I think it is a
so
thing to
it's
identify, right? The ups and downsides of me blocking with it there. So it's an extra blue card that I don't need. So
it saves you 3 life.
I got to think about
that's why you're blocking.
Does it really save me that 3 life? And I got to think about like what cards could the warrior have here that actually super hard punishes me.
Yeah.
And Singing Steel Blade is the one. Any other card, it's
damage, right?
It's just damage.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, the last thing that I can think about that is quite key in this matchup is your tunic management.
Yeah.
So missing a tunic counter in this kind of aggro matchup is like deadly. Like, they give you so much value. You know, me getting off that yellow shunt with tunic resource and 2 armor, you know, put me so far ahead in that game.
Exactly.
So, and you had some really good tunic turns as well, right?
Yeah. So being able to identify when you need to hold on to tunic for like when you want to hold on to it for like your Art of War turns, or when you're needing to threaten masks more than Katsu, in which case you're using it for that surging strike on the third chain link where you need to try and still threaten a hit trigger.
Yeah.
Because if you only got 2 cards in hand and a tunic and one's a blue, Darchi surging strike, keeping the tunic, doesn't actually do anything. Daniel's very, very happy taking that damage depending on his hand.
Yeah.
Whereas Darchi tunic surging, I'm threatening 0 cost
Quite
at the
a
top,
lot more,
quite a
right?
lot more damage.
Yeah. And funnily enough, that Command and Conquer was actually like hugely relevant on that off turn.
Yeah.
There's a lot to think about in this game. We might actually go back and watch it afterwards.
Yeah, for sure.
So thank you for watching.
Thank you very much.
Anything you'd like to add?
I played this matchup a lot, especially if you play Katsu. This is, I think, definitely the matchup where you learn
it's
most.
Quite a hard matchup for
Quite a hard
Katsu,
one.
but you do learn a lot from playing it.
For sure.
And Dorinthea is the deck that punishes you for playing the game how you want to play it the most, right? If you're keeping cards in hand, you know, Dorinthea's going to punish you for underblocking. She's going to punish you for overblocking.
Yep,
She's going to make you feel uncomfortable no matter what deck you're on. So, she's like the deep end of the pool.
Exactly, and as soon as you're comfortable in that deep end, everything else seems
Everything
so
is
much
a lot
easier.
easier, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, and definitely play Dorinthea as well. As I've said so many times, it's so much easier to play against what you know.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
play a lot of Dorinthea as well. Anyway, thanks for watching.
Yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys.
Make sure to like and subscribe. That'll
Yeah.
keep Greg happy.
Yeah.
And we'll see you on the Art of War podcast.
Yeah, all the best.
See ya.